So I've been having some unexplained illnesses and deaths down here in the fish room, and the reason why I say it's unexplained illnesses and deaths is that I've been having fish just get sick, get bloat, get hole in the head, um, and die mysteriously. I come down here and they're just dead. They alive and healthy and eating one minute, next minute they're dead. They dead. I've been having like a few fish with white stringy poop. Like, what's going on? I checked all my water parameters. Ammonia level zero, nitrates. I'm sorry, nitrites are zero, nitrates are low or acceptable in acceptable limits. I do scheduled maintenance, and I also get maintenance in between the scheduled maintenance. I do a pretty good job of taking care of my fish. I feed them good, nice, healthy food. Yet I've been having unexplained deaths that should not be happening and illnesses that should not be happening. So one of the things that I often take for granted, I don't check that often, I'm guilty of it, is my pH. So I check my pH, and the one constant is that the pH in most of my tanks very low. I keep the type of fish that generally like low pH, but if the pH is so low that it's all the way at the bottom, chances are it's even lower than you're able to read. So the pH is probably the culprit. So let's fix it. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey fish family, welcome back to Tabarak Aquatics, and today we're having a scientific day down here in the fish room. Yeah, as you can see, I'm doing water changes. Yup, I'm doing water changes. However, I'm also doing other things as far as my maintenance is concerned. You can see all the cloudiness, and all that cloudiness is not dirt and debris only. It's also because I did some things to my tank to correct some issues that I have. Okay. One of the things that I was talking about as far as doing water changes is that when you don't do your water change, you have detritus and all kinds of stuff to build up, and that plays a part in lowering your pH and your KH and so forth. And when it get too low, what happens is that you have mysterious illnesses and mysterious fish deaths and so forth in your tank, and you don't quite know what it is because all the other parameters check out. But when you look deeper, you find out that your pH is extremely low and your KH is really low. Water a little too soft and all that type of stuff. So anyway, going to tell you how I made some corrections. First thing I did was checked my pH and my KH and so forth before I made the adjustments. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, forgive how messy my table is over here because I'm giving it to you raw, okay? I'm giving it to you raw. I'm not pre-planning, prepping, and all that stuff. So what I did to correct my issue was I went and bought some carob seed aragonite, and before I put the aragonite in, what I did was I gave my sump I changed out some of the pads, and I did some cleaning inside my sump. I didn't like do thorough cleaning because I didn't want to disturb the beneficial bacteria too much. Sometimes you can do too much. A lot of times, actually, you can do too much, especially while doing a water change. And when you do too much, you can kill off too much of the beneficial bacteria and harm things more so than help. But anyway, so let me show you. So I did my freshwater master test kit and checked my pH in the water, and my pH, as you can see, is extremely low. Okay, you see this? This is low. Okay, when you compare it to this color chart, it's 6.0, and it might be even lower than that. It's just that it won't read any lower than 6.0. Okay, so that can be an issue. All right, so you can see the color difference in the substrate. That very white sand is the aragonite. So I put 20 pounds, two 10-pound bags, a total of 20 pounds of aragonite sand in this 350-gallon tank. So we're going to see what effects that have on balancing out, getting my water parameters in shape where I need them to be at. I started to put just one 10-pound bag in there and then come back and check. Then I said, this is a big tank. Why fool around with it and just go ahead and put the 20 pounds. So we'll see what difference the 20 pounds of aragonite sand substrate will make. Fish family, let me show y'all something that I'm experimenting with. This is the Seachem pH alert from the alert series. So I guess I'm going to get some other alerts like ammonia and KH and all that good stuff. But I'm checking this out. So right now, what it is that the color in the middle is saying that my pH is matching this color right here, which is putting me at a pH of 7.4. This is in my sump. I put it in my sump here, and this is a beast of a sump, as you can see. All right. So I just took some water out of this sump to check out, to test it against my master test kit. So we're gonna see how accurate this pH alert is. All right, hold tight, y'all. And we're back. All right, fish family, as you can see, this water line is just a little bit higher than that, but a little bit higher than the little line there, but it's hard to get it perfect. And this is my master test kit pH test solution. All right, so we're gonna put 3 drops in here. 1, 2, 3. Already I see coloration. Inverted a couple. I just shake it a couple times like that. All right, look at that. Now let me grab my color chart. And I'm back with my color chart. So we're gonna hold it up close to my color chart. And this is pH. So if we were to test it, hold it up against my color chart, it would say about 6.6, because it's, I'm sorry, not 6.6, I'm sorry. It would say about, what's that color there? It looked like a 7.2. Because yeah, I thought it was blue, I'm tripping, y'all. 6.6 is aqua, this color is not aqua. This color is more like 7.2. So it's somewhere between, I guess 7.4 on that other chart would be pretty accurate, because this says 7.2 right here, which is pretty close to 7.4, 7.2, 7.4. What's the difference? So I successfully raised my pH, y'all, over 1 point, over a whole point. That's a big change in the change of the pH. So the aragonite did its job, and it worked a hell of a lot faster and better than crushed coral and seashells and whatnot. So the aragonite is the champ, and I'm going to go ahead and order a GH and KH alert. But that pH alert, I'm going to pay attention to that and see if my pH start dropping. Then I'll renew the aragonite. All right. Family, we back. Let's go ahead and sum this up for us real quick, so we can have just a basic understanding. All right, let's start out with just the fact that every living organism have a pH that is optimum for them. We human beings, we have the optimum pH for us is 7.4. That's our baseline. 7.4 is optimum for us. Anything lower than 7.4 would be acidotic. Anything above 7.4 would be alkalytic, okay? Alkalytic would be something like, like caustic materials, anything like that. That's an alkaline. But in any case, moving right along, let's say a diabetic person. Many of us know diabetic people, and some of us are diabetic ourselves. Have you ever heard of a diabetic coma or ketoacidosis? When a person have too many ketones and their blood sugar is really, really super high, and they have all those ketones, and and they get to smelling fruity breath and like it smell like they've been drinking or something like that. They what happens? The body's response is that they want to drink more. They want to drink more and drink more and drink more. And then they got to urinate all the time, and they got to drink a lot and urinate. And the body's response is doing that so that you can drink a lot of water and thin out that sugar in your body, and then urinate and piss it out. Basically trying to say, hey, we got to get this up out of our body. and your respiratory response is that you start breathing really fast, trying to blow off those ketones or blow off all that acid. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is that you blowing off all that acid, you know, and you start retaining too much CO2 and not enough oxygen. So you're going to have some oxygen to help level you out. We'll not stay on that too long. I'm just going to make that example that, yeah, it do have an effect. It will bother you. It will put you in what they call a diabetic coma if you don't get that fixed. Likewise, if your sugar get really low, your body have a reaction where you get really weak, and you know, some people show like stroke-like symptoms, and some people actually go into a seizure for having their sugar too low. All right. So how does this relate to our water and our fish? Some fish are more comfortable with a low pH. Some are more comfortable with very high pH. But most fish are comfortable and will exist comfortably and optimally in just a balanced, leveled out pH of 7.0, 7.2, something like that. Okay. Now, as far as how to keep that pH where you need it to be at, let's say the KH is controlling KH is how you control or keep that pH where you need to be at. Okay, you can raise and lower your pH all you want to, but if you don't do anything to approach that KH, you will lose your pH stability. You'll have pH swings, in which that's what causes fish to get stressed out and to die and to get sick and, you know, all that other stuff. It's not a good thing. Okay, so think of KH like a big sponge. And that big sponge will absorb, it will absorb all the extra waste and, you know, all the extra stuff that would make your tank water acidic or acidic. It absorbs like the urine and the respirations of the fish that's coming out the gills. And, you know, you might have a dead fish that's stuck behind a rock or something like that. You know, a pleco that went between some wood and died, or you know, some fish that buried himself and just, you know, you just have stuff. And anyway, that KH, think of it as a very large sponge that absorbs all that acid and keep your pH from crashing. Right now, once that sponge is all used up and all exhausted, you know, maybe it's full. It just absorbed all that it can absorb, or maybe it's just getting raggedy and it don't have much to it. It's time to get a new one. What happened is that now that acid, that you know, acidic material will start just wreaking havoc on our pH and start dropping our pH. And you know, that's why we need to pay attention to it, because once it drop our pH again, that's when we have fish death and illnesses and all that stuff that we don't want. Okay, so what you want to do, of course, like get something else as far as a buffer is concerned, like some more aragonite or some more crushed coral or whatever. I feel that the aragonite is much more effective as far as raising your pH. From what I was told, the crushed corals do a better job as far as very slowly and gently raising your pH, and some people told me that it lasts longer. For me, with a big tank, you'll probably be doing better off with put some aragonite in it, and then get yourself, you know, maybe some stones or minerals or something in there, coral and stuff like that, to put in there to maintain it or hold it. It's a balancing dance, but I try to stay away from chemicals doing that, because I think chemicals will make it swing too fast, too far, and it's hard to undo what you do once you start introducing chemicals into your tank. All right. So the moral of the story is try to have a good understanding of your pH and what the differences is and stuff like that. And we're going to go ahead and tie this in real quick. to water changes. You know, we've been having a lot of conversation in the aquarium hobby lately. People talking about trying to do no water change tank and all that type of stuff. Yeah, you can do that, but I mean that's not for every tank, especially if you're trying to maintain a tank that's heavily stocked and something that where your fish or your animals are sensitive as far as the pH is concerned. Because just think about it, you could be absorbing all the nitrates you want with your plants and everything like that, but them same plants that's in there, when them plant leaves die and the plant material and wood and all that stuff die, you know, it starts dissolving and everything. That stuff lowers your pH. You know, it lowers your pH and your tank is getting more acidic or acidotic with everything, you know. So unless you are paying attention to that as well, you know, you're going to have a problem, you know, because it's just building up. You're going to have to do water changes to get that acidotic water out and get back to your baseline. So know what your pH is coming out your tap as far as your faucet water is concerned, your tap water. Know what pH is, you know, know the pH level of that water, the KH or GH. Know what your water come out of the tap. That's your baseline right there. And then compare that to the type of animals you want to keep in your tank, and what is the optimum pH to keep that water, you know. So understand that if it comes out, you know, okay, or you know, you know, 7.0 to 7.2 or whatever, just understand that if you got a heavily stocked tank and you got plants and stuff like that, your pH is going to drop over time. It just dropped, and one day it'll drop. So a lot of times you'll have to maintain that by taking that acidic or acidotic water out with water change to get that tank back balanced or whatever, you know, because how many chemicals and how many things you want to play with as far as maintaining your pH is concerned. So that's something that I haven't heard anybody discuss as far as water changes and the importance of water changes. I haven't heard anybody talk about maintaining your pH, your KH, your GH as far as those water values. A lot of people pay attention and speak on you know, the nitrates and stuff like that, but shoot, I've had fish death, you know, time and time again where my nitrates are pretty low, my nitrites is 0, my ammonia is 0, you know, and I couldn't figure out why my fish was dying, why I had illnesses, what was going on. You know, I thought I was, you know, maintaining a good clean tank, and I just couldn't get it healthy no matter how many medications. You know, it just took too much. And then find out, you know, let me be thorough about what I'm looking at. And then, you know, one thing that was in common in all those mystery deaths was that I had a low pH when it happened. And I keep a low pH because my tap water comes out pretty low. I try not to chase the pH. And I keep most of the fish that I keep enjoy a low pH, but, you know, some pH is just too low. It's not optimum, and they're going to die off. So, consider that too, as far as when we have this conversation about water changes and stuff like that. In any case, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thanks to all of you who have stayed with me throughout this long, chatty video that I'm doing. I know it's very sciencey and nerdy and stuff like that, and a lot of people just want to see the fish and want me to sell the sizzle. But to be quite honest with you, that's not why I started this YouTube channel. I started this YouTube channel so that I can explain some of these things to people who was looking for this information, because when I was going through it and I was looking for this information, it wasn't easy to find, and the people who I did find, they was using terms that I couldn't relate to, and I couldn't tie it into how it relates to my tank and what I'm going through and my water and why, you know. So hopefully this information I relate it in a way that is palatable and that you can apply it to your needs and benefit from it. All right, and if this is your first time, you know, checking out my channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching the entire video, and please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Let's have some conversation. If you have any suggestions, any advice or any questions or whatever, I appreciate all of it. All of the action that you give to this channel will help the YouTube algorithm, and it will give YouTube the impression that people are interested in my channel and my fish and what I have to show and what I have to say, and hopefully to help this channel grow, and YouTube will automatically suggest this channel to other people who are looking for, you know, beautiful fish and also looking for some information. All right, y'all. Until next time, happy fish keeping. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.